those people driving across, they can see the lady on the cross, and on the bottom, they will see the angel up on the side, and see the various terracing come down in the area. So we're done with that. Last year, 2 years ago, when we first started work, we made an initial craft on the north side of the ravine, as easy as we could to get through from one end of the ravine to the other. And now we're in the process of moving that path, so it's now going to be against the initial curve of terracing on the north side, around 5 feet. Altogether, that road down there is 15 feet across. Certainly over the years, people widening that lane to get back to the original. And also, if you find a Facebook page, we have a croc. We found a croc in the creek. It's sort of been a humor issue over the last few postings, but when we found out by the West Bridge that somebody had lost a croc shoe. And it stopped down there, so the croc found the thing. We carried it out on Sunday, we captured it and disposed of the crocs. We just couldn't let that one pass. We had to take advantage of that. As far as Morton Hill, no change down there. We still have that large tree limits down. You can drive around. That drive path is open, except for the tree limb is still down. It has damaged quite a few stones in that area. We might be later on, maybe get a work down there to chainsaw this stuff and try to put that up. The hardest problem with Morton Hill Cemetery, you can't get any vehicle larger than a pickup truck through those stone gates at the entry. It sort of limits who can get in there to help with it. And also the flag is still struggling. I want to grommet, and we're in a process of looking at what's available to probably replace that flag. We took a rough measurement using my wife as a ruler. That flagpole was roughly 45 feet tall. And the bad thing, it's tall, you can't even look to it very easily. The halyards are on, and if you go on the street and walk in, the flag is up in the treetops. So right now I'm sort of looking at like a 25-foot pole, maybe a telescope. We're going to have some people looking at that, but we'll come up with a proposal later on. And the biggest thing right now, we're actually involved in getting the flags out to mark the veterans' graves in both Morton Hill and Crystal Springs. We calculate it's going to be, when we get down, it'll be 2,000 American flags posted in those two cemeteries. It's a lot of flags, and those flags, we've got those flags from various sources. One, we're getting those flags from recycled from another cemetery, and they burn them every year. So we're getting those flags, we're going over and checking on them, keeping the good ones and disposing of the bad ones. Another organization has donated over 300 flags that they had in their possession. They no longer need them, so they gave them to us. Kathy and myself, we donated flags last year. We're getting reason this year. We donated 300. And Bob Cooley, which everybody didn't do the cemeteries in the area, he's a staunch volunteer supporter, and he's donated over 1,000 flags. He just ordered them, and we're putting those in. We started that Monday. We're probably 25% done. We'll have that hopefully done next week before New Year. It will be done. And we're going to leave those flags up for Flag Day and through the 4th of July weekend. We'll start taking them down the 14th of July. And for future work, we've got one fallen tree down in the floral lane. We need to cut that up. Once we do that, you can walk all the way to the bottom of the ravine, going all the way around the creek. Complete the flag placements this week, and then as we have time available, we'll be moving the pathway in the north side, except from the curve out 5 feet. Anybody have any questions?
I do. I have a couple questions for you. First and foremost, do you have all the flags that you need?
Yes. Yeah, I think we calculated over 2,500 flags we got.
And then my next and final question, do you have like a set schedule of when you are out there, dates and times?
Uh, Not yet, because it's early spring, we're doing some readjustment around to my schedule, so I'll probably have that, I won't have that posted before the 1st of June. Uh, Generally speaking, it's Saturdays and Mondays, but depending on like this Saturday, we can't, we have to go to memorial service. But generally, we can be out there Saturdays and Mondays.
I would just like to commend the Friends of Crystal Springs and Morton Hill Cemeteries for the very fine.
Thank you.
Because if you was not doing it, your group was not doing the work, probably it wouldn't get done. And all of the things that you have exposed there, the beauty of the cemetery back in the, 1930s, we can see that here in 2025. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, I had one
The
question.
city certainly wants to join in on that. We do appreciate you.
Okay. The only thing, Morton Hill Cemetery, we've got 2 floodlights, and I don't know if those things are still being used or they're deactivated. Does anybody have any idea on that? There's one at the street level shining in the cemetery, well, pointing toward the cemetery, and there's one near the flagpole. But I have no idea if those things are still being functional or not. So if anybody hears anything, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you once again. Any updates on maintenance/repairs?
Well, at this point, we have a contractor looking at the pumping system for the water out at the cemetery. We initially had them take a look at the overall thing, and they had come back indicating it would cost about $47,000 to repair that, and we don't have that right now, but we've asked them to look at a portion of it and give us a price for repairing and putting it back into operation. And talked with our engineers this morning about following up on it so we can try to get that done right away.
Any questions from the board in regards to that? Any updates on cemetery personnel?
No updates on personnel.
New business, transfer of funds for burials.
Your total amount of transfer from April 8th through May 8th is $24,610.
I make a motion that the transfer of funds be moved.
Support.
Motion by Frazier, second by Jackson. Member Brown?
No.
Member Childs?
No.
Member Jackson?
Yes.
Chair Frazier?
Yes.
I have a question. Last meeting, it was revealed to us that we're just doing partial payments. Are we still on that same system?
Essentially, yes, we are. As a matter of fact, I just paid $25,000 this morning.
Do you know what is the arrearage or the balance that is owed to make it current?
I believe that balance to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $55,000. We will continue making payments as we can throughout. That's the approximate amount, I believe it is.
And that doesn't include the $25,000 payment that was made?
No, it doesn't.
If I could ask a question. I'm not totally aware of the agreement that was initially made with Bert, with, I guess whoever entered into it, the emergency manager. Was that agreement that all of the monies that would be taken in within a month's time would be turned over to Bert?
I don't have specifics on the agreement handy either, but I can assure you the city intends to pay all of its vendors as timely as we possibly can, depending upon cash availability. Keep in mind that city government is a business that has ups and downs in terms of its money receipts. Certain period of time in the year, we get our state-shared revenues, and we have, of course, water and sewer and stuff trickle in constantly, but we also are constantly paying out on it. But then we have summer taxes that come in at one point, and then later in the year, we get winter taxes. So there are ups and downs in it, and that's pretty much the situation we have.
Because my vision is that we could get back to the way it was before the emergency manager. I think the way we're going now, we're not going to never get back to that, where the monies that came in for the cemetery was handled by the cemetery board. They, it's my understanding they did the hiring of personnel and all of that through the monies that came in that was generated through the burials and opening and closing.
And I believe that is what the case was before the emergency manager. But as I've indicated before, and I have to say again, it's going to be several years before we're able to balance out the overall financial situation, and we're going to do the very best we can to try and do that. But as I've explained before, and I'll do it again, the emergency manager and the things that he did when he was here, or when they were here, because there was more than one of them, have created a number of problems that the city has been dealing with ever since, the largest of them being financial. We were left with about a $2.5 million a year deficit in terms of the water plant. That accounts for a major portion of our shortfall. Likewise, for whatever reason they did it, disrupted what was working for the cemetery board and changed it to where the city gets no revenue now to do anything. We pass all of the income that we get to sea management. In the meantime, though, we continue to reach into the general fund to pay the costs for cutting grass, for trimming trees, paying the electric bill there, repairing the roads and whatnot, just as I said a few minutes ago, to reach in and find money to pay to repair the water system and so forth. So even though there's no source for that, we're taking it Frankly, I'm taking it from other departments because the budgets are all to the other departments.
So what's happening is the monies that the cemetery take in, it goes into the general fund for the city, and the city just simply makes payments that's available to Burt.
That's basically correct.
Okay, because technically discussion should have been before roll call, so I'm going to do that again. Motion by Frazier, second by Jackson. Member Brown?
No.
Member Childs? We're voting on the transfer.
Okay, no.
Member Jackson?
Yes.
Chair Frazier?
Yes.
Motion failed.
So do we have a set payment arrangement with Sea Management?
Just that we, pay as regularly as we have the cash to do so, and we do it continuously.
So is our agreement with them on paper still, how can I put this? Has it expired or is it going month by month?
It's my impression that it's basically continuing now. I don't really have the specifics on it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Any comments from the board?
Yes. Let me understand this here. Two voted yes, two voted no, so it didn't carry. So that means that they're not going to, these funds are not going to be transferred to Sea Management. Sea Management has been very kind to this city and this graveyard. I don't see no reason why they should hold up their money. I mean, they're the ones who holding the card right now and keeping us floating. There's nothing free. Digging these graves, and that's not free. That's some hard work. This board don't have no reason to deny Sea Management when they've been helping us all this time. With the grace of them, who else gonna bury these people and dig these graves? I mean, I think it's wrong. There should be yes all the way across this board for Sea Management, Burt and them. It's just not fair to them. The city manager we have, this is not his fault. This is that's the emergency manager's fault what they did. And we should be grateful for this city manager helping us right now, trying to straighten things out. This is not personal. This is business. Burt can pull out any time. Then what we gonna do? Nothing. And then we got to rely on the city manager to figure something out for us. And I know he's tired of doing this, but it's a job, and he's doing the best he can. Burt is doing what he can. That's all I got to say. I mean, it's wrong to say no.
And Madam Chairperson, if I might, I agree wholeheartedly with Member Jackson. As a matter of fact, I find myself at a point wanting to ask a question of the no votes. What exactly is your intention?
Since being on this board, this is my first time ever voting no to transfer those funds. finding the next meeting that we're just making partial payments. I think my vote is not against Bert, is not being dissatisfied with the work that they're doing, but it is now, at this point. This has never happened before. What do we do now? What type of decision or vision, and that's what it's going to take to make some changes and get things going in the right way. But as long as I was casting a yes vote, and then next week I'm casting a vote that Bert is getting all the money, and then last month discovered he's just getting partial payments. So my vote is not against Bert. It is that those that are handling the finance can now get in a huddle and say, what can we do different to work this situation out?
Well, let me help you with that. There isn't anything you can do different unless you got some more money. It's just as simple as that.
Say, for instance, let's look at it this way then. All the monies that come in a month's time, that if that would have happened from the beginning, all the monies that come in goes to Bert, then we wouldn't be behind with Bert.
Let me see if I can explain something to you. Bert accepting these payments, something is better than nothing. He understands the situation that the city has. All this money that's coming in, the city still got to pay the city bills. Bert understand that, and Bert knows sooner or later things gonna be good. That's why I'm saying Bert is being very kind. I mean, very kind to us. And you can't get blood out of a turnip. You can't get water out of a rock. So what we getting now and what Bert is getting is better than nothing. The big picture here is the city manager is giving all these different people, vendors, something. And they all saying something is better than nothing, and they do know our situation. I know it. You should know it. There never should be a vote no against someone that's helping us tremendously. And again, all this is falling on the city manager's shoulders. The graveyard is getting done the best way it can. Mr. Little already mentioned that the city was going to do in-house grass cutting. That's another way into helping. You got to give us city manager a chance. Bert is already giving us the opportunity to make it right. There's no two ways about it. It's simple.
I'd like to come back to the question I asked earlier. What exactly is the intent of the no vote? Is it that you are suggesting that he would not get paid? Intention of it?
The intent is not for Bert not to be paid, but if, on my vote, if I'm under the impression that $24,610 is what's being transferred to general fund, my understanding is that's what we're paying Bert, not piecemealing, especially when the board had no say or any input in making payments. We were under the distinct impression when we transferred money to the general fund in the amount that we approved, that's what he was getting. So that's our intent, to get an understanding. Now, if we need to go back and we work out with Bert, okay, this is what we owe. What type of monthly payments are you willing to accept? Then we can make an agreement. But until that's something we all can see, I will continue to say no because it's not transparent. It's being transferred from the cemetery board's checking account, and it can sit there, draw some interest until we get it worked out. Okay, how much money a month are we going to pay them? So we can then vote on that amount and have a running balance. Here we are again, 55,000 in arrearages. Do you have any verification, George, if that's true or updated? Do you know?
Right now, let me see. Right now, the one little check I got here to go, it'd be 70,425 total, plus the 25 is just a little discounted, so.
Okay.
Somewhere. I don't know
So we-
exactly what it is.
Okay, Tiffany just gave us a balance of about 45,000. Okay. So that's why I'll continue to say no. It's not personal. It's not about Bert. It's about complete transparency. That's it, and that's all.
Well, I'd like to correct something that you said. I've been in the seat a year now, and I know during that year, there has been no misunderstanding. This same discussion has gone on at every meeting we've had for the last year.
And it'll
And it has
continue.
been understood that the city does not have the money to pay it in full, and that we have been continually paying as we have the money and doing it on a regular basis. We appreciate the service that Sea Management provides to us, and we have no intention of frustrating them by not paying them anything. But we pay what we can.
So why can't you all, or you and the finance director, with our chairperson, so she could keep us informed, sit down, look at what we're voting to transfer to general fund, and say, hey, every month we get this from Crystal Springs, we're going to pay them $10,000. And then we can vote in good conscience that, hey, we're going to transfer $24,610 to the general fund, and at that point, we're going to pay Sea Management $10,000 of that. That's clear, that's open, and there's no further discussion because we're aware. There's something about people being made aware that seems to be an Achilles heel, and I don't get it.
The answer to that is that this is not a static debt. 1 month you may bury 10 people, 1 month you may bury 20 people. The amount that we get to pay 1 month may be 25,000, the next month it may be 90,000. And we're paying as it comes in and as we go.
And with
We
it
may
being
very well,
transparent,
on
with
a
it
month
being
when there's only
transparent,
10
you can
people,
always go back.
Get tax money in
And you
have
can
enough
always go
money
back and
to pay
discuss
more.
it and renegotiate, but that's not what you all want to do. And I will continue to vote no.
So a bird's payment is not dependent upon the monies that's taken in through the cemeteries, but it's dependent upon, as you stated, the taxes, water, and other things.
Cash flow, period.
So paying bird, if you don't take anything in, if there's no burial in a month's time.
And we'll still pay some money, absolutely. That's right.
Because you owe it. That's right.
Exactly, that's my point.
Because you're in the rear. But if you weren't in the rear, and if they took in no money, no cemetery, no fund, no plots, no burial, nothing came into Crystal Springs in a month's time, if you were with Bert of zero balance, then Bert wouldn't get paid that much. That's true.
So if
But if I might say, nor would the electric company, the gas company, or any other bills we have. It's the same.
So if I can make a suggestion to the board and to city manager, if we can have Bert to come in and say to us that he's okay with the way that he's being paid, would that satisfy the not knowing?
I would like it a little more detailed, as far as what he'll accept. The minimum and then the highest amount, especially with our arrearages going forward.
I would add to that, not just voting on the 24,610, but have something added to it. We are voting 24,610 specifics, but we will be paying Bert 15,000 this month, and the arrearages, what the balance is so-and-so, so-and-so amount.
Folks, that's not how it works, because what we pay is dependent upon what the cash flow will allow, what has been voted through the commission. After, what you're doing when you approve is it moves to the next step in the process. And that process includes the bills going on a bill list that the commission acts on, the process being set up to be paid. As I said, like the 25,000 that was paid this morning, you didn't vote on the 25,000. You voted on all of it that's been put in the thing, and we're paying part of what has been approved previously. I think you're trying to make the thing overly complicated when I understand.
Trying to get
Well, the clarity is that every time you vote to approve what's been paid in, it goes into the process, and then as quickly and as often as we're able to pay it, we do.
Yeah. Let me ask this question. Who determines how much he's going to get paid every month?
Basically, I do, as a part of what money we have available and what the demands are at that time. I should say myself and Rhonda, because we collaborate on it. So we make sure that keep all the lights on, the gas flowing, the insurance paid,
Right.
payroll done,
Right.
whatnot.
Right. So if Bert had to budget from the monies that he's getting from the city every month, he wouldn't be able to properly budget because he doesn't know how much he's going to get paid every month, right?
Nor do we.
So, my question is this then, so out of this $24,610, when exactly do you know, or do you guys know, how much of that he will get?
Every time I initiate a payment process, which is typically at least twice in a month and sometime more often, I don't do any payments to anybody without also including his payments in the process. Basically, what I do is go down the list, look at if there are any that not paid from April, and we're now in May. If I've still got April ones, I go through there and try to take care of as much as I can of the April ones. If I can't cover all of them, I try to cover a reasonable percentage of all of the April ones to get it done.
So
We try not to leave anybody out.
Okay, gotcha. So there is no agreed set amount. You just go through and make a payment based on what you have available to make a payment with.
That's correct.
Okay, any other comments from the board? Okay, with that being said, I close this meeting at 1:44 PM.
Motion, Member Brown?
Support.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Jackson?
Yes.
Chair Frazier?
Yes.
Motion carried.